All right, so I came dressed for the occasion. Let's talk about Thor, Love and Thunder. All right, now first off, and I would hope that I would not have to clarify this further, there will be spoilers in this video because I'm talking about the entire movie, so if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you clicking this shit and watching that, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is do not expect me to be all up in this camera on this channel. I'm already all up in the camera on my Adrian Expression channel, and this channel I'm not really trying to have it like that, but I mean occasionally I'll be on camera, but don't expect this to be consistent. I'm telling you that right now. But either way, the entire reason I was like, let me just set it up and start talking is because I literally just came from the theater. Like I'm telling you, I saw what I saw, okay, and I wrote down some things real quick so I wouldn't forget them, and we're gonna talk about it. Now, it's not no in-depth analysis of every suit, every little detail that popped up on the screen, because like I said, I just came from the movie. So this is my initial immediate reaction, okay? And I'm sure as time goes on, we can talk about the implications that it has on the Marvel Universe, blah, 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 as more stuff happens. But just off the top of my head, I'm just gonna go down the list of the things that I wrote down while I was sitting there waiting for the end credits and all that shit, okay? So the first thing that I thought immediately, was I said right here they should have given us way more backstory to Gore instead of us seeing Thor talk to his hammer. Okay, so I know that, okay, overall this movie was cute. It was fun. I'm gonna give it a fun. Cute, very much cute and fun. And it was. The effects were cool, the fights were cool, but like if we're talking about the plot, the story, the dialogue, let me get into it, okay? Let me just talk. So, in the beginning, and I know that people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, it was only a 2-hour movie, whatever hour movie, we didn't have enough time to fully develop Gore's story. And I understand that you're gonna have to, especially based off of Gore's story in the comic books, you're gonna have to slice that shit down. You have to cut it down, right? But they cut that shit down to basically just an intro, and I'm like, no, I feel like y'all had all these jokes flying in the movie. Y'all had, like I said, Thor talking to his fucking hammer. Y'all had Korg telling these tales, and it's like, okay, okay. But I think I would have definitely traded all that shit. Oh my god, I don't know, they tried to be humorous, okay. I would have traded a lot of those scenes for more scenes of Gore's backstory, and then switch back and forth between what Thor's doing, what Gore's backstory and how he's developing, and then convert. And when they converge, it would be really cool. But whatever, it was still an intro that made us understand Gore's motivations. But yeah, the dialogue in the beginning with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and when Lady Sif came. Okay, let me tell you something. If Lady Sif is calling you and you see the messages on the ship, Lady Sif is saying, hey, just we're in danger, something's happening. I mean, he gonna walk down the ship, and him and Star-Lord gonna have this jokey ass conversation. I'm like, yo, Lady Sif is in trouble. What are you talking? What are all these jokes? We don't have time for that shit. Lady Sif just said, what's tea? I don't know. I think it was a little difficult for me to shift perspectives because, you come from Multiverse of Madness. That shit was more on the serious side. It wasn't fully 100% serious, but it was more on the serious side. So I'm coming from that into this where it's like, oh, y'all playing jokes. I mean, even when Gore stole the Asgardian children, they're over here, they still telling jokes, they just lollygagging around. I'm like, yo, they're missing kids. There are missing kids, and y'all are talking about, just having fun, just talking. I'm like, I don't know, the sense of urgency, I wish that there was, y'all, he got y'all kids. What are you doing? So yeah, not only do I wish that we had more of Gore's backstory, but in general, I wish we saw more of Christian Bale as Gore, because for me, he was amazing. We only had a couple scenes. I mean, outside of the fighting and all that stuff, but to hear him speak, see him act that shit out, it was amazing. It was great. One of the best scenes, I wrote this shit down, one of the best scenes of Christian Bale as Gore was when he captured all of them on that weird dimension or whatever, and just tied their ass down, down Jane and Valkyrie and Thor. and was just talking, just dragging their ass, dragging their faith in the gods, dragging the gods in general, and seeing him just be that charismatic villain, it was delicious. And I wish that we had more scenes. I wish. Also, I do wish some of our faves had a little bit less plot armor, I will say. Because when Korg I thought he evaporated. I thought Zeus got into his ass. But then his face ended up surviving. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I just wanted something. That would have been really cool to flip everything on his head after y'all done made 10 trillion jokes and shit. We finally get to Omnipotent City and, you know, Korg dies out. I'm like, okay. But then his face still survives. That's all right. Even like Valkyrie, when she going to fight Gore with the Thunderbolt and she got stabbed, but she ended up still living. I was like, all right. I was like, okay. I thought that play with Melissa McCarthy and Matt Damon, that shit was so fun. I was like, what are y'all doing? I was like, this fucking play, man. What are y'all doing? What else? It was cool to see Heimdall's son, Axel, or whatever, and using his little, like, seeing magic, or whatever. But like I said, every time that they did that, I guess, communication between Thor and Heimdall's son, Axel, like, I was like, y'all are taking y'all sweet time. Y'all are taking your sweet, like, oh, we're on our way to the kids. We're on our way, kids. I'm like, what do you mean they're in the clutches of a villain? Like, y'all need to hurry. Y'all need to hurry up. And it's no shade, but it's like, okay, I get it. It's a comic book movie, or you know what? If it was a true comic book movie, that story with Gore would have been stronger, in my opinion. But whatever. It's a superhero movie, so there's certain things that I just automatically accept. I know what I'm getting into when I'm watching a superhero movie, right? But at the same time, I'm like, some of this dialogue, girl, y'all need some help with that shit. Or monologue. This monologue at the end that Jane Foster had, talking about when Laura said, oh, Lady Thor, and she was just like, oh, well, actually, it's not Lady Thor, it's Mighty Thor, and if you can't say that, then bitch, you better call me Dr. Jane Foster, honey. I was just like, all right, just bring on the tropes, it's fine. Like, it's okay, I guess, right? Now, at the end, I'm gonna really need to figure out what's going on with this kid. Like, what's going on with this kid? Because Gore didn't have any powers, right? Until he got the Necro Sword. And he went to Eternity and asked Eternity for his daughter back, essentially, right? That's what I'm understanding, because I feel like he was going to Eternity to wipe out all the gods, but instead, I guess they had this come to white Jesus moment, and they over here talking, and that's the one thing I can't stand. I did say this shit about the latest Wonder Woman movie from DC. I don't like when you reach the end of a battle with these villains, these super villains, and all they need is a talking down to. It's like we could have avoided. And first of all, I'm not gonna have no conversation with you at the edges of eternity. You know what I mean? When you was just killing you was killing the guy, you was killing my friends, you was killing everyone. I'm not gonna have no conversation with your dumb ass talking about, oh well, girl, all you need is love. All you need at the end of the day, that's all that was missing in your heart. No, bitch. What about my dead fucking friends? Shit. What about these dead guys? What about the kids from Asgard that you kidnapped? Ho? What are you talking about? I don't like that shit, and I don't care what y'all talking about. I don't care what y'all say. If I sign up to see a fight, Wonder Woman 1984, if I sign up to see a fight, Love and Thunder, I expect y'all to be brawling until the very end. I don't care about that kumbaya shit. If I wanted that, I would watch a rom-com. I want y'all hoes to fight. Fuck that talking shit. I want y'all to fight. So you can imagine, I'm just like, okay, so this is how it's gonna end. Thor's just gonna turn around and be like, all right. And then at the end of it, Gore has the nerve to be like, well, bitch, can you watch over my kid? What are you talking about? I would have been like, what are you talking about? You was about to kill off my entire, like, the entirety of Asgard. I'm not watching your fucking kid. And that's why I can't be no superhero, bitch. I'm not watching your kid. I'm not. And then, like I said, I need to figure out what's going on with this kid anyway, because it seemed like she got superpowers. She's like, is she a version of, toned down version of Eternity? What kind of, she has powers, and her father, it's just like, what's going on with that? I cannot even begin for the life of me to think of myself as a superhero, and then you go out, defeat the enemy barely, and then your girlfriend and she's a bad bitch. You definitely needed her help, Thor, and I knew you was going to. So I can't imagine being a superhero, going to defeat the enemy, and then this motherfucker will have a kid and then tell me to watch that. That bitch say, oh, watch my kid, you babysit? Watch my kid while I go to the grocery store. Girl, you got some nerve, bitch. You watch your kid, or don't bring her ass back. That's it. Move her ass out my face. Like I said, I go to these movies to see some superpowers, some fights, some explosions. And that's what I got, you know, so I'm not gonna press the shit, like, I already know what it gives. But at the same time, like I said, it was, once I shifted, I don't know, it was just difficult. I'm like, okay, it's a lot of comedy. And I know there's Thor movies, I understand that, but shit. What I'm saying is the 69%, 70% that it got, I guess, the last time I checked, the 70-something%, it's fair. That's where I would rate the movie, like, you know, C minus, C, very much C. You know, I don't know. It's not. I don't know. That's really what it gave. And I was going to do end credits, like a separate end credits video, but it wasn't that much shit in the end credits. Let me see. The first one was just Zeus talking about how, you know, the gods have become jokes and the superheroes now are what everybody's calling. Nobody's praying to the gods no more. So, and then we get to see Hercules. And I was just like, oh, yes, daddy. Hercules. And so Zeus essentially said, we're gonna make them beg for us. So, like, I think that's what he was saying. He's like, bitch, we're gonna drag the shut their ass so they can pray to us. And I can understand why he thought that, you know, the gods are now a joke, because all it took was one. First of all, why was Thor able? I don't know. All it took was one fucking football toss, and Zeus was out of the game. Zeus is out of the game, so I can understand why he felt like a joke, because that was very funny to me. The second post-credit scene was Jane Foster entering Valhalla. And of course, or, you know, we already saw from the beginning that Lady Sif was just like, oh, well, you know, if I die here, I'll get into Valhalla. And because she had the powers of Thor, she was technically a god at the time that she died in battle with Thor. So, like, that's how they got her ass to Valhalla. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Obviously, she's coming back. Like, they're gonna bring her ass back. Like, because if she was dead for real, it wouldn't even be none of this, right? So I wonder what's gonna happen with that, how she's gonna come back. I know there's a story for that in the comics, not too familiar with it. But yeah, overall, I would definitely say that the C rating that it got was very accurate. It was accurate, especially the beginning of the movie where I was like, oh my God, this dialogue. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I was like, this is giving parody of itself. And I knew that it was, of course, because it started off with Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're just crazy. They're like a comedy bunch anyways, right? So, but I was just like, whew, girl, if the movie had focused more on, if y'all give me a Gore the God Butcher movie, I think I would have got my life. I don't know. It's just, it was very cute. It was cute and fun, and was nothing more than that, you know? But I do wonder what this means for the other gods, and I also like how this affected some of the pantheons that we might know about, might not know about, and I also want to know if Thor's coming back. So leave your thoughts, those of you who've seen the movie. Like I said, I don't know why you would be watching this video if you haven't seen the movie. Love y'all so much, and I'll catch y'all later.